Thanks for joining me in Mrs. Lavoie's classroom. Just a reminder, the ABA tips and tricks I share here are for educational use only and are not a replacement for professional behavioral services. Always consult with your own BCBA or healthcare provider for personalized advice. Let's get started. Have you ever noticed that the most stressful moments of the day, whether you're a teacher or a parent, usually happens during transitions? Today, we are talking about how to turn that chaos into calm using two simple tools, routines and visuals. We're going to look at why knowing what comes next is a superpower for kids and how you can set this up at the kitchen table or even in your classroom. Think about your own life. If you showed up to work and your boss suddenly told you that instead of your usual meetings, you had to give a presentation in 5 minutes, you'd feel anxious, right? Kids feel the same way when their day feels random. When a child can predict what's happening, their brain relaxes. They don't have to stay on high alert, wondering if a surprise is coming. Predictability builds trust, reduces meltdowns, and actually makes kids more willing to cooperate because they see an end in sight. Our voices are temporary. When we say, go put your shoes on, get your backpack, and meet me by the door, those words vanish into thin air. For a kid, it's actually a lot to remember. Visuals are permanent. They stay there to remind the child what to do without you having to nag. And here are 3 ways to use them. First, we are going to talk about the first then boards. This is the gold standard. First, we do the non-fun thing like homework or cleaning up, and then we do the fun thing, iPad or outside. It's a simple contract that even toddlers can understand. Here is an example of what a first then board might look like. You can see that I put bathroom first, and then you'll notice it says outside. You'll also notice this is a real picture of an actual bathroom, and this picture is not an actual picture of outside. You're going to have to determine whether or not your child needs real life photos, or you can use representatives of an item, such as what I did with the outside, or maybe they don't even need pictures at all, and you can just use words. Let's chat about visual schedules. At school, this might be subjects of the day. For example, here you can see I have assembly, snack, library, science, bathroom, then dismissal. As each thing happens, you can see I have Velcro so I can take it off. This helps your child understand what is happening now and then what's going to happen next. At home, it's the morning routine or bedtime routine. And just like I did, you can use words or pictures. So use a picture of a toothbrush, a pajama set, and a book. And it tells the story of what the next 20 minutes look like, better than just a list of rules. And finally, let's talk about visual timers. Time is an abstract concept. 5 minutes means nothing to a 6-year-old, but seeing a red circle slowly disappearing on a timer, that they understand. It helps them prepare to say goodbye to a fun activity. The awesome thing is you don't have to go online and try to buy a fancy timer. You can use one on your phone. And if you look right here, I show you exactly what I'm talking about by the red disappearing. You can use the clock app on your phone, or you can even download a fancier version. Or if you wanted to buy one, you could just buy a simple digital timer right here. I gave you a picture of it. It just depends on your child. Some understand the numbers while others need that visual. A routine is just a habit on repeat. The goal is to get to a point where you don't have to say a word. In the classroom, we practice entering the room dozens of times. At home, you can do the same for something like coming home from school. Every day, you would have them put shoes in the basket, lunch on the counter, and then wash their hands. If the order is exactly the same every single day, the child's brain eventually goes on autopilot. This is how we build independence. You stop being the manager and start being the supporter. Okay, so now how do we even make it work? If you want to try these at home, keep these 3 tips in mind. 1, don't just set it and forget it. A visual is a tool, not a decoration. You have to physically walk the child over to the schedule and point to it. Look, we finished lunch. What's on our picture list next? You are going to have to do this pretty consistently until you start to notice the child referencing it with their eyes or maybe even going over to it independently. 2, celebrate the wins. At first, just celebrate the child reviewing the schedule with you by saying things like, I really like how you're looking at this with me. Then you may want to reward them when they're able to independently identify what comes next. You can just start by asking them a question like, okay, I see we just finished putting our shoes away. What comes next? You may have to point to the next thing on the list while you wait for them to answer, but eventually you won't have to point at all. When they answer correctly, regardless of whether or not you pointed, it's time to celebrate. Yes, you are right. Lunchbox on the counter is next. You are so smart. Then here comes that big win, the moment we've waited for, when they follow the routine, maybe with one reminder. But let's make a big deal out of this. High fives, and I'm so proud of how you remembered all the steps. And last, but certainly not least, start small. You don't need a schedule for the whole 24-hour day. Just start with picking the most stressful time. Maybe it's getting out the door in the morning. Maybe it's brushing teeth routine. Maybe it's unpacking when we get home. Pick one of those times and then make a visual for it. When you see that your child is successful with that routine, then go ahead and make another visual. But if you make all these visuals all at once, or make this really big long visual all at once, you might actually be setting yourself and your child up for failure. Predictability is a gift we give to our children. It makes them feel safe, capable, and in control. Thanks for watching. For more ABA insights, make sure to subscribe and follow. See you next time.